And welcome back to Wake Up Radio with Ryan Rainfuzz. We're here with Alexis Jones, live in the studio this morning, and I'm just loving your energy. I mean, you fill the room with this energy of possibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is what I'm always trying to convince people of, is instead of focusing on what you think can't happen, focus on what you think can happen. And you said something, you guys mentioned something a minute ago that really touches a chord for me, and that is when you set a goal that if it didn't happen, you would be utterly disappointed, you'd be utterly destroyed. That is the goal that you should be pursuing the most, because that's the most true, that's the most real goal. If it means that much to you, that's what you should be doing, and we don't do that.
Well, and the thing of it is what we talked about getting disappointed in is the opportunity towards that goal. The not reaching the goal itself is not what we usually get.
But those little
disappointed.
milestones, if you don't cross those milestones, if you hadn't gotten on Survivor, I mean, talk about a difficult goal. If that hadn't come to fruition for you, well, what would you have done? I know you would have done something else.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it, is recognizing that you do something else. And so the moment that something doesn't work out, we talked about this before, but the idea of when something doesn't work out, it's not a door being shut. I don't like that analogy of like, now it's not a possibility, but just the wind to your sails is pushing you in another direction, but in an endless sea. The ocean is forever, and so now you may not land exactly where you're going to go, but that's okay, because now there's another possibility.
Yeah.
And always living for that next possibility, and knowing that what you're gaining along that road is priceless information and experience. It's going to prepare you even more for that next opportunity.
And Alexis, you're always talking about that possibility with a lot of people. You speak to many groups. I'm going to show a clip right now. We don't need any audio on this. I'm going to show a clip of some of Alexis's speaking engagements. Excuse me.
Now, for our radio listeners, can you tell us where is this and what?
This was a Girl Scouting event that I went to, and we were talking about that idea of authentic confidence. I was working in Cambodia with an all-girls school there. They were amazing. That was a big talk we gave in Canada, actually, and that was in D.C. I was speaking. We were lobbying for a big nonprofit called Invisible Children. And this is footage from a TV show I was working on.
So it's just sort of a montage.
Just like a montage of all sorts of stuff. So me on the
things.
plane, which is the story of my life.
But Alexis, you get paid to do what you love.
Absolutely. I think there's something really incredible about monetizing your passion. Something I'm a big advocate for, because I think at the end of the day, I don't believe in the American dream with regard to working for 12 hours a day until you're 60 and then like barely being able to pay for the things that you want.
Is that the American dream?
I feel like it is. In
I
a
think
lot
that
of ways,
people
it's
think it is.
I think that exactly. I think people think that's the American dream, is I'll go to this job and it's a steady job, and I think that's an incredible mentality that my parents came from, and they've certainly afforded me so many opportunities that otherwise I wouldn't have had. But I think that our generation, what's really unique to our generation, is this idea that we are incredibly passionate about what we do, and you can't put a dollar sign on that. And to be able to have a double bottom line in your company and in your business and in what you do, to where yes, you get paid, and that's important. We always joke in our company that we want to move mountains, and mountains are very expensive. So we're pretty unapologetic about how much we charge, because at the end of the day, again, speaking of that authenticity, you can look at someone across the table from you and say, this is how much I charge to talk, and I'm worth every cent. And you'd be crazy not to hire me.
Alexis, what did you want to be when you grew up? I mean, what was your goal? What did you want to be? You don't create this.
No, it's weird, because when I was probably 15 or 16, I remember thinking I want to be an author and I want to be a speaker. That I knew I love to talk. I mean, good Lord, you can't shut this girl up. I'm serious.
Well, you make a fantastic
You haven't even met Claudia, my mother. Okay,
we'll have to have Claudia on the show.
Far from the tree, I'm just saying. But yeah, I think that I was always passionate about not only going through my own life experience, but then being able to mull that over and to have the introspection and the depth to pull out universal truths from that, and then to be able to in turn share those with people. I think I've always been really, really interested and curious about the human experience, about my own experiences, but then being able to share those with other people and have them share them with
I got it. 15 or 16, I just want a new pair of Reeboks. That's
well, that too. Come on.
This is the really interesting thing, is that I think there's a shift taking place in your generation, because, and I say that because you are a young girl. You are younger than either of us, but you project this energy of authority and of knowledge and of experience. And the Fuzz, I was talking to you just the other day. I'm getting ready to turn 30 in about 10 days. And for me, well, thank you. But for me, I'm just now 30, and I still feel like, well, am I really old enough to do it? Do I really have that authority, that knowledge to do it? you blow me away. I mean, you're doing it, and you're confidently doing it.
You know what's weird is that for me, I feel like the clock is ticking.
It is
Isn't that
ticking.
funny that I'm like,
Not just
I'm
for you.
27. I'm like, oh no, I have so much more I need to get in. And maybe that's part of it, is also having a mission and having a vision for something that is bigger than yourself. Because you recognize that what I want to do in my lifetime, if I can even make a dent in that industry, in that entire world with regard to women's empowerment, and especially the way that we're treating women globally, that is something I'm never going to accomplish. And so there's something nice about that, is like it gives you plenty of content to work on throughout your lifetime. So there's so many unbelievably creative goals that I've come up with that are going to take 2 lifetimes minimally.
And Alexis, you feel like you can't afford not to do it.
Yeah,
It's so important to
absolutely.
you. We will be back in just a moment with more from you, Alexis, and we'll be talking a little bit more about your company and some of the coincidences that you've encountered throughout your journey. So stay with us.